Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Kelly, a very happy day out there to everybody watching. Today is really exciting for me because I got a new foundation. I've been testing it out for the past 4 or 5-ish days. Actually, today's day 5, but anyways, I got the new Ulta Beauty Effortless Effect Medium Coverage Hydrating Foundation right here. It came in the mail last week and I immediately started testing it instead of doing first impressions. I couldn't wait. Antsy pantsy. Like I said, so if you're curious as to the application, my preferred way of putting this on my face, well, how I've tested it, go ahead and stay tuned. We are gonna test this guy out. If this is your first time here, I want to say hi, hello. I am so happy that you found your way over to my channel. If you wouldn't mind smashing the like button to make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any kind of shenanigans that we do over here. We do a lot of shenanigans. Anyways, the new foundation does come in 26 shades, or at least that's what's listed on the app. I'm on the app, not the website. But anyways, the details say Ulta's Effortless Effect Foundation provides medium coverage with a natural, effortless looking finish. Packed with skin-loving ingredients and just the right amount of coverage, say hello to your new everyday foundation. The benefits infused with hyaluronic acid to boost hydration, acai berry and pomegranate extracts to help even skin tone appearance, antioxidant vitamin E helps protect from free radical damage, vegan formula, fragrance, paraben, and silicone free. I will say there's no fragrance to this. So it definitely says that it gives a effortless natural finish. I will say yes, but no. We will talk about that at the end of the video as far as what I've been testing it with. I do have a stockpile of foundations, primers over here, but I'm going to zoom you in and we're going to put this on the face as my favorite method so far. So get ready. So let's talk about my favorite way of applying this. And this is actually just with skincare. So what I have on my face today is actually kind of minimal. I've been going minimal with my skincare, but anyways, it's been working for me. I like to start with a Pixie Skin Treats Glow Tonic right here. And then I follow it with Timeless Matrixyl Synth 6 Serum. I can't live without that for hydration. And then I also follow that as well with the Tony Moly, the Black Tea London Classic Serum, also really fantastic for hydration. And to top it off, the last step is the Murad Skin Perfecting Lotion right here. I've been loving these 4 products so much, I've even been skipping my eye cream and I don't miss it. Anyways, it just really hydrates my skin. For reference, I do have aging dry skin. I am 37 years old. I have dry skin. I'm very prone to allergy issues like contact dermatitis. I'm prone to like breakouts as far as eczema breakouts from said rashes. I live in Michigan, so dry climate, dry skin, aging. Anyways, so yeah, my favorite way to apply this is actually just with my skin prepped really nicely. But I will talk about the other primers that I have tried it, and then I did take notes, let you know all about that. But anyways, this is the foundation here. I did get the shade light to medium neutral. I think I've tried all of Ulta Beauty's foundation, and it runs light. I did get the serum drops in fair to light neutral, and that was ghostly on me. And I also really love the concealer. The concealer I have light neutral. So just be warned, shade range is light, fair, I guess. So it is a squeezy tube, but right here I kind of like it. And you do like see the shade here, which is really nice. And I'm just gonna put a little bit on the back of my hand here. It is thick. It is not runny. It's not moosey, but it definitely doesn't move. And I prefer to use a sponge. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my Juno & Co sponge here. I will say I did try a sponge, a brush, and nope. That was a very much so hard pass for me. Anyways, so let's talk about foundation preferences, because that is important. I am doing just half of my face just so that you can kind of see the coverage that we do get. I prefer a foundation that does look like skin. Medium coverage is pretty much my sweet spot. I have a lot of discoloration and issues I like to cover, but I also like a foundation that if I want to build it up, I can build it up. If I want to sheer it out, I can sheer it out. I like to have options. I don't want to have to switch foundations all the time, and I have too many foundations. I'm very well aware of that, but I like to have a favorite foundation and just have it work how I want it, I suppose. Anyways, so that'll give you some insight as to my makeup preferences. I do have it on this little palette down here. I'm just picking up little bits by little bits that I need. I am going to build it up a little bit and pretty much use it right as a concealer right up under and around my eye here. It is just a little difficult to get in there with a sponge, but it is doable. I do suffer from all kinds of different colors in and around my eye area. But yeah, and then I decided to pick something on the middle of my forehead, like seconds before I turned on the camera, because I don't know, I wasn't thinking. Anyways, make sure it's all blended in, just bouncing, bouncing, bouncing. Okay, so from a distance, this is the side with foundation on, and this is the side without. I did build it up a little bit on my cheek just because I went a little low when I was doing it around my eye area, but especially in my eye area, you can definitely see the darkness right here and in the inner corner is really canceled out, and then the yellow, orangey, red, whatever on the upper lid, it is really also canceled out. It really gave me a great blank canvas, so to speak, but it's not so canceled out that it doesn't look like skin. So I'm going to come a little bit closer and explain a little bit more. Okay, now that I am closer, I wanted you to see it does still look a little dry around my nose area right now. It is so dry that it's just, it is anything as far as, it doesn't matter what's going on my face. It's going to be a little dry right here, but it is not settling in my smile line here as well as underneath my eye. There's a little slight creasing like in my crease here, but it does look just like skin. You can still see a lot of what I have going on, but it's just smoothed out a little bit. Okay, I did want to get closer, like I said, just so that you can really see some things about this foundation. And it does not matter what foundation I am wearing right now or what base I'm using as far as like a primer. My nose area especially is so dry. It's like, what day is it? One day this week we're supposed to have a high of like 19. And it won't be 19. It will probably be about 8. Because we are at best partly cloudy, so we do have a lot of gloom. We don't get a lot of sunlight right now, and so we don't have a lot of warmth coming in. So that does play a factor as far as like my dry weather. I will say it does warm up to the skin really, really well. I mean, with my dry skin, sometimes my body just needs a moment with a foundation or concealer, really any kind of face product, and then it will just melt right into the skin. So that is something that is notable, but it is normal for myself. Okay, so this is the final look here with this foundation. I did, again, build it up on my cheeks just a little bit, and I didn't do any concealer. So this is just foundation. I didn't set this with powder. It's solely just the foundation. I have a lot of thoughts. I took a ton of notes, and I can get this thing to misbehave already, but I can also get it to work really fantastic. So if you're curious as to how I got it to misbehave and what products I think it doesn't really work with as long as you have dry skin, go ahead, stay tuned. I'm going to give you some final thoughts, but first I'm going to go finish my face. Now that my face is completely on, I will have all the makeup down in the description box in case you're curious, or just watch yesterday's video. It was get ready with me. I had double film today, but anyways, I do want to mention you do get 1 fluid ounces in this little guy here. It does retail for $16. And while I'm filming in this, currently right now it is Monday. It is on sale for $7. I would assume that it keeps that price throughout the week. But anyways, you could always use coupons. Ulta Beauty always has sales going on. Buy one, get one half off, I think, is going on right now. There's the $3.50 coupon, like I was saying. You can, so you don't have to rush out and get this. Wait for a sale if it's not in your budget. But anyways, $16 for a foundation. I feel that's kind of fair. So you get one fluid ounce. Anyways, and again, I want to say this again. I have very, very dry, aging skin, so I have texture. I have dry skin. I live in a dry climate. I do drink enough water, but with all that being said, let's get into the notes and how I did get this thing to misbehave, because boy, did I get it to misbehave. And yeah, I didn't. It was not pretty. So the first day that I used it, I was really, really excited. What really drew me to this foundation was the fact that it is medium coverage, and then it says hydrating. I don't have a hydrating foundation, to be honest. I do have a couple foundations that I do like. I prefer them. I enjoy using them, but I don't have a hydrating one. So I thought, why not? I have dry skin. And I didn't need another primer or foundation, but here we are. I bought another foundation. I have been loving the Ulta Beauty Hydrating Face Primer so much so that I bought the big one, like when I made the order online, because it's not in stores, or at least it wasn't when I ordered it. It wasn't in stores. I got the big one of this. I am obsessed with this. So this is how I used it the first day. I did find this, because this is very, very hydrating. It's an extension of my skincare on top of all of my other skincare. I've been using that for a couple weeks. And I put this on. I did find that it was an absolute 100% no-go for myself with a brush. No, I have to use a sponge. And right now I do have the Juno & Co. sponges. I find that for myself is best. But with this combination, I had to set it. It was just a light set, but it was still tacky, not sticky, but after about 5-10 minutes, it still wasn't drying down. So I did have to powder it. I did powder it with the Ulta Beauty mineral setting powder. It's what I have on my desk in front of me here. So I did choose to do this. I wore it for 14.5 hours, which is a long time for me. Usually I do about 12 hours, 10, 12 hours is like full day wear for me. But I did do 14.5 hours. We had a long day that day. It separated a little bit right here. A little bit on my nose. Again, we talked about it. My nose is dry. My skin is insanely dry right now. And a little bit on my chin. I'm having a little bit of a chin breakout as well. So it did kind of separate there. I did want to try if by chance I was leaving the house again at that point and I had some separation, if I could just go in with a little bit of powder and powder it and be okay to go, and I was absolutely fine. It blended back out. It was good to go. So something to mention, that's pretty much my T-zone. We had a little bit of issue, but not so much that it was bad. And I will say too, it's been like 2 weeks, you guys. My nose has been nonstop, like running. It's not safe. So you wiped away from my nose, like especially like this, you know, with a tissue. It's not, I can't blow my nose, but if you live in the cold weather, you get it. And our weather's like 40 today, but we're gonna be like 9 tomorrow. So my nose is running, but I will say it does fade really gracefully around the nose area as far as like wiping, and that's separate. When I was talking about the separation, it was like the bridge of my nose. So blowing, wiping, it did fade gracefully. You could definitely see that there was no foundation there, but it wasn't like, there wasn't like a line. You know, with some foundations, like you're like, oh, you blew your nose today. It wasn't like that. I could have just been a nose toucher. So it wore really, really great there. But talking distance 2-3 feet away, you couldn't see any kind of separation. But like I said, I did powder my nose and we were really, really good. Like, we were good to go. The second day, I used the Revlon Candid primer right here. This is a pore filling primer for myself. This is pretty. This is about as matte as Kelly goes. It's not a matte foundation or primer, but it's matte for me. So I did use this. I did not set the foundation, and this was the first time I didn't set it. I didn't feel the need. I did let it sit for a couple minutes. As always, I usually always let my foundations sit for a minute just to see how it's gonna play on my skin, because if I don't have to put powder on my face, I don't want to. I have dry skin. I know other people, they like live for powders. I have a lot of powders, but anyways, I did not set it that day. It did not sit well on my nose. Like, I had a hard time blending it out with my nose. Again, I just used the sponge. Pretty much at this point gave up with the brush. I did use my favorite foundation brush here. No. So at this point I had given up. I did this day use a concealer, so I did set underneath my eyes. I did have a massive breakout over on the left side of my nose, so I used concealer around my nose. So wherever I did use a concealer, I did powder that area, but as far as the rest of my face, I did not. Powders blended just fine using this, but I will say, it took a while, but this combination with these two guys right here, it took a while, but it did warm up. My nose actually looked fantastic throughout the day. Did I notice any pore blurring? I don't know, but that's kind of how I feel about this primer. I think it's a great primer. I think it holds on to foundation really well, but does this reduce my pores? No, so I didn't really notice pore blurring with this, but this combination really was did wear well. But if you're somebody that like you're doing your meeting or you're doing your makeup and you're going to meet somebody in 15-20 minutes, it might not look great if you have dry skin. But after an hour and a half, maybe even 2 hours, it did look fantastic. By the end of the day, it wore off the same spot, only on my chin though, not the concealer. In this part, between my eyebrows, it was fine, but my chin, it kind of looked a little bit broken up. But again, I was able to powder it out and I was good to go if I were to leave the house, but I didn't. I washed my makeup off at that point. But just for the purposes of trying this for you guys, the third day, I decided no primer, just my skincare. Oh my God. It set down to this. I will say, I do have a little bit of powder on my nose and like my cheek area right here. I went way overboard with the blush. So I did powder just right here across this part of my face, I guess, to tone down the blush. But my forehead and for the most part my cheeks, I'm out of breath. I did not set my face. The powders blend beautifully. And I think it is little tiny like viewfinder, but the finish I get with this foundation, with this just my skincare, is this absolutely healthy, glowing, radiant, like skin-like finish. My skin is very hydrated. When I use these products over here, this is the same thing I used for day 3. And when you put foundation on, sometimes you do lose that radiance. The natural radiance, it's not a greasy, oily, it's not luminous. It's a very healthy, hydrated glow, I guess. Hopefully it's coming across right, but I had no problems blending anything out. If you're curious as to how everything did blend, this is yesterday's Get Ready With Me. So, I mean, I'll leave that down in the description box as well in case you were curious just to see it. I did not use concealer this day. Blended up right over underneath my eyes, in the corner, over top of my eyelids and everything like that. I did it again today. I don't have concealer on. I don't have to tap it out. Crazy pants. I know. The less like product underneath the eye, the less likely you are going to get creasing. This is obviously not concealer thick, but it covered enough. My skin still shows through. This isn't a like total cancellation. This covered all of my eye area. So anyways, I've been wearing it like that. And as far as what my chin, my nose, and like right here, because those were the spots I was like eyeballing and pretty much in the face to face, nose to nose, like with the mirror, no issues. None. Beautiful. I really, really did like it. So day number 4, and this is what kind of made me think, okay, I'm ready to do this review, because like I said, I had this planned for later in the week, but I really have some thoughts. The day 4, I tried the Ulta Beauty Fabulous Face Primer. Right here, this is kind of similar to the Smashbox Photo Ready. It's clear, it's very, very silicone-y, and I will say, no, nope, I washed it off, like, immediately. I got maybe 2-3 pounces on my face with the sponge, and I went, oh, absolutely not. Washed off immediately. So, for my dry skin, silicone, no. No. So then I went back in after I washed off, did my skincare again, and went in with a Coats Face Moisture. This is my SPF, my preferred SPF, because a deal breaker is it's got to be hydrating. And because I do have dry skin, I still have dry skin in the summer. If I can't wear my SPF, it's kind of a deal breaker. So I did decide to try this in combination of the foundation as well. And what I have to say is it worked really, really well. But I have to preface and say, if if you aren't used to using a mineral sunscreen, you do have to let this sit before you put makeup on top of it. So I did let it sit for 15-20 minutes, went upstairs, had a coffee, kind of went about my day a little bit. So this was fully set in when I did go in with this, but such is life as far as like mineral sunscreens. And again, it set really, really well on its own. No powder, no anything. I did use it as concealer again. And it looked very natural on the skin. Now, I will say, this is a little bit, for myself, I find that this is very pore blurring, as far as like blurring my pores, but this blurred my pores pretty much. The best combo right here, so if you have, pore problems, this might be a really, really great combination for you, especially if you have dry skin. So I will say that, but I will say, again, so I like this on its own, and I like it with this the best. So far, it's been 4.5 days, because the one day we had 2 testing. This is the way I have it on today with just skincare. My skin is kind of healthy and radiant. When I used it with this, it was almost like a soft matte. Not matte. It did dry down, obviously, but it was definitely softer. I didn't have the luminous, I guess, because this is kind of, I mean, it's kind of matte. This definitely does give the skin a soft finish, whereas like all of my skincare is definitely a dewy, glowy kind of, not glowy, it's not luminous at all. It's just a healthy, dewy kind of skin. That's what my skincare does. And then this one, it definitely does kind of make it matte and kind of blur. I mean, this is a very thick, heavy protectant, but with this, you'll get like a soft matte kind of finish. And I will say, it doesn't claim to be long wearing. It doesn't claim to be not smudge proof, that's eyeliner, transfer proof, but I will say, I have headphones. When I game and edit, there are these giant things that cover half of my face anyways. Makeup does transfer on these, but it didn't transfer off, so I could take them off. I would have been able to leave the house if I chose to leave the house. It's not like it took a whole ring off. I talk on the phone. I talk a lot. I mean, obviously, you guys watch my videos. I talk a lot. There's a little bit of transfer, and if that bugs you, it's probably not for you. It doesn't bother me. It's just makeup. It doesn't rub itself off to where you're like, you were on the phone. Like, so it's not like that. I mean, you could touch your face, and like, it's not transferring. I mean, if I were to take and wipe my sleeve across my arm, my face, it's probably gonna transfer, but that's all I gotta say about that. It's not transfer proof, doesn't claim to be, but it is hydrating. I love this healthy glow. I've sent a couple like selfies out, and my friends are like, your face is glowing, and I was like, I know, I think I might be in love. I don't know, I'm kind of okay saying that. I've tested it out, and those are my thoughts. I actually, not one day did I feel the need to set my face with my spray, which is weird. Usually that's my go-to every day, but I think because I don't have to powder my face, the blush and the bronzer and the highlight, they just soak right into the skin, and it's beautiful. But I'm really, really happy that I picked it up. Are you planning on picking up? What are your thoughts? I can only attest to my very dry, very aging 37-year-old skin that lives in Michigan. If you live in a different climate, have different skin types, if you have any thoughts on this, please let me and everybody else that is watching this video, let us know down in the comments. How is it wearing for you? How did you get it to work? Because I did find that this was pretty finicky as far as finding the right way to do it, the method, what it works with, what it doesn't. But in the long run, everything's like that for me. Nothing is perfect. Nothing goes on my face and it's like, yay, we're the best thing ever. I have to work with things, different brushes, tools, just different everything. I'm used to it. I actually do love this. When it's gone, I actually probably will repurchase this. To be very honest, I love this. I love this on its own. It's very quick and easy, especially because I don't have to go in with a primer, and it sets itself. If you watch my channel, I like things that do that. So I really, really like this. And again, I really appreciate everybody taking the time hanging out today. I had so much fun filming this because I can't stop talking about this. My friends are over it. But anyways, I hope you do decide to stick around, subscribe, share with your friends so that they can kind of see how this kind of goes on and everything like that. Maybe they've got some thoughts and opinions. Smash the like button, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!